I love that you just put Winklevoss. That's it. No
Oh,
other,
yeah.
no other term, just Winklevoss. Well, so right before the stream, I said I'd never bark on stream,
never
and
woof.
then Prag just decides that's how he's going to
And
own it.
stay woofing.
Yeah.
Roman Polanski.
He's a creative genius. He pulls from everyone else and he makes it his own. You know, like he has no fear, no shame.
La Gazzaladra, the thieving magpie.
I don't even know what that means. Welcome
It's
to
an opera. It's a beautiful Italian opera by Rossini called La Gazzaladra. It's called The Thieving Magpie, and it's about a magpie magpies go around and they steal bright, shiny objects and bring them back to their nest. And if you go to a magpie nest, you'll find all kinds of cool shit.
In Australia, they steal your eye. Like, they would literally just poke your eye out.
What?
Yeah, yeah. If you walk down the street, magpies, they'll try and swoop and pluck your eye out. It's a real worry.
That's crazy.
Did they really do it? And how many times does that happen? You know, people that this happen. I know birds come at you if you go to their nest.
I want to get some stats, but it's pretty common fear walking down the street in Australia. There's magpies.
So you just want to do one of these?
Yeah, or like cyclists, they wear helmets that have spikes on them. Like, that's a real thing.
Just like a visor would do. It's just like one of those little pull-down visors when you're in the magpie zone, is what I call it.
That'd work. Yeah. So every kid just wears like those enormous like motorbike.
Well, I mean,
helmets.
you have to wear a helmet on a bicycle anyway. Listen, if you're not biking with a helmet, you're really fucking up. And then it's just a visor, and you just slide it down, and you can still see. And actually, all it has to be is a bar, because the bird can't get in there, right? So. I'm coming to Australia, and I'm going to introduce a line of bike helmets for magpie enthusiast riders. And it's going to have variable, and it's going to go along with the body cams for people who cook your food. When you go in the restaurant, what if, JC, you could open your iPad and say, oh, I want to see what the kitchen looks like. And you sit down before you order, and you can see people cooking. What do you think about that? Okay, they all have body cams.
And that's combined with Magpie, like
it's
the kitchen
multiple brands and the umbrella.
Okay.
Well, it's just
I don't see how they relate.
We're bringing products to market that have a quality. They don't relate. It's just the relationship is quality.
Okay.
And American innovation
in Australia. Nice. I love that.
In Australia.
Tom, can you explain
before we continue?
Yeah. Okay.
Explain my Mark Zuckerberg. You're a Zuckhead.
Well, explain.
How long have you been a Zuckhead?
Please, it's serious.
Explain your tag, algorithm. Explain.
Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. So we used to live in a time where men used to be men, you know? Men were men, women were women. Things were right. Things made sense. Yeah. And now we don't live in that time anymore. And I think we should go back to that time. And I couldn't think of a better moment to do this than with this movie, The Social Network. So please, gentlemen, direct your attention to the Discord. I'll be playing the part of Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, no.
Probably be playing the part of Sean Parker.
Okay.
And
I have to go to the Discord.
JC will be playing the part of Eduardo. I tried to format this as best as I could. There are stage directions in here or whatever. So watch out. Yeah, you're gonna have to amp it up a little, buddy.
I'm literally the Justin Timberlake of Twitch, so this is perfect for me.
So
do I have to do better than Dylan whatever his name was? I reckon I could do this from memory. But okay.
So please be mindful of the stage directions. I tried to make them all in bold, but they didn't transfer right. So we'll do the best we can.
I have my scene right here.
We used to do this all the time, and I thought this is perfect. This is a three-person scene.
I love this. We should just make AI do the transcripts for us and just pull the scene we want and just have it pull the correct words, because I don't have the time to. Well, I know, but I don't have the time to actually do the fucking transcripts. Okay, that's
all I do.
But, yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe good. All right.
I think the time consumption is finding it.
It was easy to find. It was just I do indent stuff and then whatever. Anyways,
the only problem is I can't yell like Andrew Garfield could yell. I can't yell like Andrew Garfield.
Just try again. Try your best.
Do you want me to play Garfield then? I don't know. It's up to you. No, all right. Just do the best you can. Be seething. Just try to be like quietly angry. Like sometimes people get so mad that they get quieter.
Yeah.
And that's when you really have to back the fuck up, because then you're like, they're calm like a bomb. All right, here we go.
I need to get into how pissed off this guy was. All right.
Eduardo. Yes.
Eduardo. Okay. And sing. Mark!
He's wired in.
I'm sorry?
He's wired in.
Is he?
Yes.
How about now? Is he still wired in? You issued 24...
security.
You issued 24 million new shares of stock.
You were told that if new investors came along,
how much were your shares diluted? How much were his?
You signed the papers.
You set me up.
You're going to blame me because you were the business head of a company and you made a bad business deal with your own company?
It's going to be like I'm not a part of Facebook.
It won't be like you're not a part of Facebook. You won't be part of
My
Facebook.
My name's on the masthead.
You might want to check again.
Is this going to froze the account?
You think we were going to let you parade around in your ridiculous suits?
I'm sorry, my pride is at the cleaners along with my hoodie and my fuck you flip-flops. You pretentious douchebag.
Security's here. You'll be leaving now.
I'm not signing those papers.
We'll get the signatures.
Tell me this is about me getting into the Phoenix. Did it? I always knew you did it. You planted the story about the chicken.
What is he talking about?
You had me accused of animal cruelty.
Seriously, what the hell's the chicken?
And I'll bet what you hated most is the fact that they identified me as a co-founder of Facebook, which I am. You better lawyer up, asshole, because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything. It's all right, I'm going.
Hang on. I almost forgot. Here's your $19,000. I wouldn't cash it, though. I drew on it. The account you froze.
I like standing next to you, Sean. Makes me look so tough.
Perfect.
Walk away.
How was that? There was some lines that Mark had that weren't in the script.
There were some. Sometimes, yeah.
Well, there were some lines that obviously Jesse Eisenberg.
Well, there were some stage directions that were not in the commas, and then I kind of kept reading, and that's my bad because I should have read ahead.
Yeah, it didn't work. Yeah, I didn't transfer one.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to make it snappy, but I felt like there was a few gaps between the dialogue. But that's a table read. That's what happens.
Yeah.
First run. It's going to be rough.
That was good, though.
If we ran that 4 times, we could do that as many times as you want. It would be great if you just practice.
How did I do, Tom? How did I do?
You did great.
I'm sorry.
Being able to yell. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I can't wait to get you on the Golden Banana. You know, we even got Dark BMX to appear on the Golden Banana now. And so, like, you're next.
Okay. I like that movie. You're next. That's a banger.
Yeah.
That's a banger. I'm going to bring that on the podcast at some point.
But anyways, yeah.
Thank you.
I was trying to think of a name.
You're welcome.
And it was going to be something about the algorithm. But when I said it in my head, I just thought of Al Gore.
Algorithm.
Like, wait, algorithm. Shit.
That's the first time you thought of that?
Yeah.
Isn't that strange, though?
Yeah,
algorithm is interesting.
Algorithm. I love that.
I've been thinking about that.
And he created the internet. We all know he created the internet.
It's a series of tubes.
He did fund the DARPA project that led to ARPANET that started the internet.
I thought you were saying that Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross's score sounded like an algorithm. Like it's sounded like an Inconvenient Truth or something. I thought that's what you're going for, but. Welcome to the Three Grandmas podcast. Finally getting to the intro. This is another episode of Yapping about movies. Edition. The Zuckhead edition. And we are talking about the social network. This was my pick. This week. And the reason why I picked this movie is because I just had a hankering to watch this movie again after seeing the trailer for the new one, The Social Reckoning. Terrible title for a movie. And I think it was literally just the trailer had the music, the doom doom doom, and I was like, I want to watch that movie again. So I was like, let's talk about it on the podcast. It's a movie that I've probably watched 100 times in clips on YouTube. Like it's one of those movies that's easily clippable, and like you can watch any scene on YouTube and just watch 100 of them in a row. Because I feel like this movie is just so airtight. But yeah, this is a Aaron Sorkin script, but it's directed by David Fincher. This is our first David Fincher film, I believe. Like, we haven't talked about any of the others. He's made some classics. Fight Club, Seven, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Zodiac.
What's a tattoo? Hold on, mate. What's a tattoo? The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo? What's a tattoo to do to you?
Did I say that weirdly? Did I say that?
I don't know. Do you think it sounds weird? I don't know. Tattoo.
Do you guys say tattoo? Sorry. Oh, okay. You enunciate your T's.
Tattoo.
You enunciate your T. I didn't
because that's how it's written. Well, that's English. You know, you pronounce the words that present it, the letters. You don't add a
tattoo. How do you say Wednesday?
Tattoo.
You don't say Wednesday, do you?
Wednesday.
Winkle-woo. We go.
You don't say
Wednesday.
You don't say Wednesday the way that it's spelled.
Wednesday, no.
Do you say
no? Because it's silent. It's Wednesday. I'm saying it, but it's silent, Jason.
What? Wednesday. Say what?
Do you say yatchet or yacht?
Yacht.
No, because there's something called long and short
It's spelled Yash.
You know how consonants work, right? There's long and short pronunciations for each letter in the alphabet. Did you know that?
Do you know,
like E is often pronounced as A.
Do you know how yacht is spelled though?
Like
it's spelled Y-A-C-H-T. You don't pronounce the C-H.
I know, but
there we go.
Yes, you do. Yacht.
Yacht.
I'm pronouncing it.
Yacht.
But you're not going yacht because it's one syllable. If it was two syllables, yeah, you would have a point. But it's one syllable.
No, you're wrong.
Okay.
Like that's just what I'm saying is I say tattoo. You're wrong. I say tattoo. You say tattoo.
Is definitely wrong because it's spelled tattoo.
How do you explain the CH in yacht?
Tattoo. You're saying tattoo. No, tattoo is still two syllables, and you're changing the T to a D. Never is T pronounced D.
Tattoo and tattoo.
Otherwise, my name would be Dodd.
Tattoo and tattoo are both two syllables.
Tattoo. Yeah, but you see what you're happening. Instead of saying tattoo, you're saying tattoo.
Yeah, I know I'm saying it differently, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. Doesn't mean wrong.
When is a T ever pronounced with a D? In other words,
when is a CH ever pronounced silent?
In yacht.
It's in yacht. There we go. There we go.
Chat.
All right, we're talking about The Social Network. This is a film that I think has been spoken about at length. So I do wonder if we're going to have any hot takes tonight. What is there left to say about The Social Network? To be honest, but
nothing. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
What I was going to say is this is going to be a short episode because I mean this movie is like I would say this movie is a modern classic. I feel like a lot of people felt like when it came out it was robbed for Best Picture, but I don't know what was it up against that year. But yeah. I want to know if you guys are fans of The Social Network, if you've ever been, like, what's your relation to The Social Network?
I like Aaron Sorkin a lot, and I think that he has a real talent for making very dry material interesting because of the way he writes dialogue. And, you know, he brings a lot of action to dialogue. You know, people famously got introduced to him via The West Wing, and it's very famous for having this very fast-paced, snappy dialogue. And I think it really lends itself to things that can be obtuse, like legal dramas and political and, you know, stuff like this with complicated things. And then there's enough going on in this movie about the environments like Harvard and Palo Alto later that keep it interesting, even though every scene is ostensibly just about a court case, you know. Time, what do you think about? Are you a Zuckhead? Are you a Zucker or what?
No, I'm not a Zucker. I think Aaron Sorkin is one of those guys who is just too much up his own ass, I think, with his writing. But that's the only way I can describe it, but I don't think that's not a bad thing. I just think it's just like the way he writes dialogue isn't real. You know, there's very few writers who do actually write like authentic dialogue. Like Quentin Tarantino writes fantastically authentic dialogue. You know, like that's not how people talk, but it kind of is. And I like that. I do like Aaron Sorkin's writing in the few movies that I have seen. It's just that for me, his writing, the dialogue does a lot of the lifting for the movie. Like it paints a giant picture. It's almost like the dialogue is the action part of an action film. Like there's a lot to it. Yeah, which I do like. That's like the best way I can explain his writing. Like Moneyball, Moneyball is my favorite Aaron Sorkin movie, and I think the dialogue in that is just crazy heavy. There's a lot being said, and it does a lot of the lifting, and there's a lot of weight to it. There's a lot of emotion to it, which I like. And with this movie, I had seen it a long time ago when it first came out, and I liked it. And I watched it again today, and I was dreading watching it because I was like, his dialogue is so heavy. I don't know if it's going to age very well. It's 2 hours long. I kind of just want to go based on memory, honestly. I don't think I want to watch this. I'm just tired today. It's a whole thing. I usually work on the weekends. It's a whole fucking thing. I sat down and watched it, and I remembered why I like the one Aaron Sorkin movie I like. Plus this, you're engaged and you're enthralled the entire time. A lot of it is, or part of it is Aaron Sorkin. A lot of it is David Fincher, because David Fincher makes bangers. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, Flynn comes out, and she's like, "How much of the movie is left?" And I was like, "I don't know." And I looked, and I was like, half hour left. I was like, I it flew by. Like it's paced very well. Like this is a great movie. I'm glad I actually sat down and watched it again and didn't go by memory. But yeah, I've seen this movie before. I liked it, and watching it again, more of the same. I still liked it.
I'll tell you one thing: the people who went to Harvard and the people from Palo Alto with power, and that's how they talk. That's how they are. This is literally how they are. And so he does, and like that's one of the things they got right about The West Wing is the pace and how they go back and forth and
it just seems so comical.
It's like everyone already knows everything. Like everyone already knows the facts about whatever they're talking about and the in depth, so they can be very rapid. And it's shorthand. It's a lot of shorthand shit, but it's also. To do that and also make the characters interesting is a real achievement that I think they have accomplished too. Like even the Winklevoss twins are interesting characters. You know, Justin Timberlake is great, and when they introduce his character, and even though the way he writes can, like, if in the hands of the wrong actors and the wrong directors, can be really like put up a wall between you and the subject, which is not what you want. You want the audience to be able to get to see it.
Wrong directors like Aaron Sorkin, I would say. But yeah,
his own, like if he's directing his own thing, like it can. So like it can be like this is supposed to be a window into a world that you're not ever going to get into, right? This is what this type of movie is, right? Like because most of us aren't going to Harvard and all this stuff, right? And so it can be a real limiting thing if the dialogue isn't inaccessible. And even though it is elite like what elites talk like and everything, he still finds a way to find the human part of it, which has always been interesting to me. You know, it's not just technocratic. It's not just technical dialogue. It's also like, you know, you don't like the people in this movie like Zuckerberg and stuff, but you also don't like loathe them. Like you can understand their point of view stuff, you know,
it's an interesting character study. Yeah. Like my relationship to The Social Network is I remember it came out, I would have been like 12 when it came out. So I had no interest in this movie when it came out. I was, and like for the longest time I was kind of like, oh, it's the Facebook movie. And my dad still like refuses to watch it because he's like, this is a movie about Facebook. How could it possibly be interesting or good? And no, I you know, after I started getting to films, I'd seen all of David Fincher's other films, and I was like, oh, okay, I got to watch The Social Network, and I loved it. I think what's interesting about this movie, like going into like this review, I also recently just like on a whim decided to read the script, like just the script on its own. And I was surprised at how like all of the dialogue, except maybe the scene that we just did, nearly all the dialogue is like one-to-one. Like what's written down happens in the film. But I think what's interesting is how David Fincher frames everything and how Jesse Eisenberg delivers the lines. Because reading the script, like Mark Zuckerberg comes up way colder, like on paper, than he does in the film. And I think a lot of that has to do with like Jesse Eisenberg's decisions and how he decides to deliver it and how he like I think Jesse Eisenberg like imbues him with a lot more emotion and like guilt, and like I feel like you could tell he feels guilty in the film, whereas in the script it doesn't read like he's guilty. It reads like he's very cold and doesn't care at all, which I think is very interesting because the dialogue's like one-to-one, but when you see it on film, I think David Fincher obviously is a director that you know, is very good at framing things in the way that he wants. Like despite it being a very good script, I feel like the way the film comes off is a lot different to the way the script comes off. Like the script is a lot colder than the film is, and the film is a lot funnier than the script is, I think. Like the script kind of comes off a little, like reading it on paper, the script comes off a little like Time said, up its own ass. Like a lot of the, like you read it and it doesn't read naturally, but then when the actors deliver it, like they deliver it so naturally. I don't know if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like you're reading it and it doesn't feel like real dialogue, but then when the actors deliver it, they deliver it in a way that's like human. And I think that's like a testament to David Fincher and his ability to translate this script.
I would love to know whether he does like how he does rehearsal. If like some directors will have everything rehearsed on a sound stage before they start to film, or does he set up the environment and then do many takes? Well, or does he is he one of these directors that's 50 takes, or like I feel like he sets it up, these environments, like a lot of these scenes are parties or offices or dorm rooms, and then I feel like the actors in this movie really did a sensational job, and that might be real credit to the director.
David Fincher is like notorious for doing not just like he does an unbelievable amount of takes. Apparently actors will get very tired on his sets because he will do so many takes. But not just so many takes, he also gets a huge amount of coverage as well. Like he will shoot every scene from every single angle, like from start to finish, because like he wants that freedom in the editing room. There's a really funny video on the set of Zodiac of Jake Gyllenhaal. He's sitting in a car and he makes a bet with the cameraman, and he goes like, how many takes do you reckon this is, like how many until this is going to be right? And they make a bet. I think like Jake Gyllenhaal says, I reckon it's going to be like 18 takes, and then the cameraman's like, I'm going to go with 25. And then they do
the vibe I got.
Yeah, and then they do the scene, and I am echoing in yours heaps, Tom. But they I keep hearing my own voice really loudly.
I hear it too.
But they do the scene, and it's just him. It's just God. Okay.
My thing's not lighting up at all when you're talking.
It's lighting up on my end.
I can see it light up.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's just him throwing a folder onto the seat next to him, and that's it. It's just him throwing a folder onto the seat, and they do it like 30 times until David Fincher's happy with it. Eventually David Fincher's like, yeah, that one looked good, and then they move on. But apparently that's what
I believe it.
Like.
That makes a lot of sense, because if you do something 30 times, like 3 or 4 of them are going to be bangers, I suppose. But then at the same time, like you say, you wear people out. Like how many times, like think about the extra, like I'm thinking about some of these dorm room scenes where the guy is just like reacting in the background. Imagine having to say the same line like 30 times and like having to act surprised every time. And that's really why a professional actor is a professional, right?
Yeah. But not just that, like
making it look like the first time every time.
Yeah, but I think not just like doing it 100 times, but also the coverage thing I think is really important, because you look at a scene like the opening scene where he's talking to his girlfriend at the time. There's so many different angles that they shoot that conversation.
Yes,
and then there's a moment where like at the end of the conversation where she says, "You're gonna go around thinking that girls don't like you because you're a nerd. It's actually because you're an asshole." Like it zooms in on her face, and it's.
Well, all those angles put you in the room more. I feel like all of those different vantage points makes it more like dynamic, you're observing a real thing that happened.
Yeah,
like you're a fly on the wall. Like you're on a drone that's circling around the room, seeing something that happened historically.
Yeah, and there's also like in the script it just says Mark Zuckerberg like walks back to his dorm room, right? But in the movie, it shows him run across the campus for I think like 5 minutes while the credits are showing.
Right.
Like
to show the campus.
To show like how the
sense of place and setting is important.
Yeah, and just the lighting as well. Yeah.
Very dark. The first scene is so dark. Even like unless you have a blackout room, if you're watching it in the daytime, I don't know if you guys noticed, even with my blackout drapes, it was so dark because it's a club, and I think that's a good.
But it's also warm. Like there's a lot of warm lighting as
intimate,
well.
though.
Yeah. I love the look of this film. Like this, I think this movie is one of the like it feels so inviting. Like I want to go to Harvard now. Like it makes me go, well, why can't I go to Harvard?
Right,
because it's really fucking
hard.
And the
dichotomy, and there's a rich dichotomy between the Harvard ambiance and the Palo Alto ambiance, and there's a real differential in the movie. It seems almost like two sections of a movie, right? When they change the location, just it shows you how important weather and can be for vibes, right? Because that colors the sky lighting. And that colors the light, and more clouds, right? So the lighting changes, so the emotions and everything changes. When you have a blue sky, like in the Palo Alto scenes, you can't do all the same things as the darkness of the Harvard.
Yeah, and also just like the warm diffusion on their faces, like even like the scene behind us, like the way that their faces are lit, it's very warm, it's very like inviting. And then you cut to like Palo Alto with Sean Parker, and Dakota Johnson, and it's like very harsh lighting. It's like it's harsh,
bright.
Yeah, and also the offices when they cut to the deposition rooms, like again, it's very harsh lighting. It's very like synthetic lighting compared to the sort of like Hogwartsy warm lighting that Harvard has. Clearly, they're trying to make Harvard like extremely inviting, which I love. I think it's great. Yeah,
a lot of cherry wood and leather.
Yeah, Yeah, I want to know because this movie is. I feel like this movie is kind of like it's a little bit of a puzzle piece in like working out what's going on in Mark Zuckerberg's brain. Do you think like all the things they say about him, like him being like in the depositions they say he was jealous of Eduardo and that's why he did everything. Like he was jealous he got into the Phoenix and like based on the movie, do you think that's all true? Like, do you think they hit the nail on the head? Not about.
I don't think if you're looking for truth in this movie, this is a. I feel like when you're doing
movie, not like the. Real
do you think the character, like Zuckerberg, was really giving him a jab under? Probably in the movie, yes. I feel like he was giving him a little dig, passive aggression. But was Zuckerberg's character aware that he was doing that? Sometimes you'll do passive aggressive things and not even be aware of it.
Like
you're protecting your own ego. Like you want to support your friend, but you're subconsciously protecting yourself. And so you give this little fucking dirty little dig that you don't even realize. Like I feel like Zuckerberg's character didn't realize he was hurting his feelings of his friend.
You're right.
He wasn't emotionally intelligent.
Because he's a little bit like he's neurodivergent coded, I would say.
Yes,
I remember. I was watching it with my friend, and after the opening scene, he was like, he hadn't seen the movie before, and after the opening scene, he was like, he's like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory, and I'm like, yeah, he kind of is, isn't he? Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, he doesn't realize he's hurting people, but
that's fair, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then every time there's a problem, like when he ends up, cooking his best friend that helped him start this business, it's because he's too busy and he blames the Sean Parker, or he always has somebody to blame.
Yeah.
And that makes me wonder, okay, so when the movie makers made this movie, they probably had to get permission to a certain extent from Facebook and Zuckerberg, right? To a certain extent they did. And some ways, this movie, you would say, oh, it's anti-Zuckerberg. But if you really watch it, it really isn't. It's I kind of have lifting and as well, it's kind of like a commercial for and I wonder how much of their utilization went up after this movie was so huge. It was kind of like a commercial in some ways.
Because there are a few
overt.
But it is a common thing. Like I would say, like in my opinion, like there are a few. There are obviously jabs at Mark Zuckerberg. Like he does come across as kind of like an alien in this, like a emotionless alien. But at the same time, like cynical, cold, but also there are moments.
But they're also doing what they were going to do to him too, right? Like the Winklevoss twins would have done the same thing to him. And this is the other thing: Harvard doesn't teach you how to do what you turn your business into. It teaches you how to deal with the success of a business. It teaches you how to do the bureaucratic knife fighting and the legal shit and all the things that you see in the deposition. That's really what you go to Harvard to learn about, how to deal with these people, right? Because if there's 60, and at the end of the day, he writes a check for $66 million and makes them go away. And you're saying, well, that's a fuck ton, a lot of money, but it's really not when you consider that he's close to $1 trillion now.
Yeah. She's
right.
Like,
and so, but that happens every day in Palo Alto. You have to understand there's a lot of people running around with a lot of money and they really didn't earn it. They were just like in one of these situationships, right? Where like, and then they just make them the check and they go away. And then they say, well, I'm a genius. Well, you're just a fucking guy who was there at the right time sometimes.
Yeah. But there also is some like image like softening in this because there's so many moments where like Mark Zuckerberg's friends like Eduardo or someone else will say he doesn't care about money. But I think the real Mark Zuckerberg obviously cares about money. Like there's no chance he doesn't. Like there's so many moments in this movie where they're like, oh, he doesn't care about money, and it's like that's
I don't know what he cares about. To be perfectly honest with you, I really don't know what motivates someone at that point.
Well, in this movie, he's motivated by like trying to get a girl back.
His girlfriend. The girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right? And like that you have to understand, I think about 99% of the achievements of men in the world throughout history are because of a woman. Or trying to impress one or trying to get back at one. Right? It's a major motivation, reproduction. It's an evolutionary construct to invent things.
But it makes it clear that there's a difference between him and Sean Parker, because Sean Parker tells that story about how he founded Napster because he wanted to get back at a girl. And then, like at the end of the conversation, Mark Zuckerberg asks him, "Do you think about that girl, like the lacrosse thing?" And he's like, "No." Like clearly, Mark Zuckerberg.
No, because it's not about her; it's really about him. Even though it is about, and even Zuckerberg is looking at the Facebook profile of the girl that jilted him, but she's on Facebook. Funny. but she's got the account on the Facebook, right? But at the same time, she's not happy, right? And so it's really not about that particular relationship. It's about the person, and they're always going to be like, you're never going to find self-fulfillment through another person or self-esteem to that level through another person. And I think young men always think that, oh, if I just finally get a girlfriend, if I finally do this, if I finally do that, then everything's great and I can just chill. But that doesn't make anything change. It just changes the environment and your problems are still there. Right.
Yeah. And there's like a conflict as well, because he writes that whole blog about Erica, calling her a bitch and all these things, but clearly he cared. Clearly he cared about her. Clearly he wanted her back. Like that's like what the whole drive of his character for a lot of this is. The fact that he screws over the Winklevoss twins, like part of it is obviously because they road crew, and she said she likes guys that road crew. like a lot of like, you know, they mention, we road crew, and he's immediately like, okay, what do you want to talk to me about? It's like instantaneous. I think that's very, very telling. Yeah.
What do you think about these characters at Harvard? And
I remember watching this movie, the first time and thinking, man, this is like crazy. This is all this stuff happened to Mark Zuckerberg. He did all this for a girl. That's crazy. And later I realized all of this whole entire movies like just made up bullshit. So it's like, it's just an interesting thing.
Well, the situations happen, but not the dialogue.
The girl thing didn't happen.
No,
he didn't make Facebook for a girl.
Is that what he's saying?
He was dating his wife the entire time.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like obviously like Aaron Sorkin saw the broad strokes. Like he just, I reckon he read the Wikipedia page. Yeah. Like he read,
he's
and then he
about,
created,
like, the big picture.
and he like created his own drama.
He created these situations.
Because the Trojan War was fought over Helen of Troy. Like it's not like this is a very classic theme in literature,
right? But it's like that's not why. Because I used to hear.
Well, there's a lot of shit that's made up in this thing too, and
right? Like, that's true. Yeah. I used to hear that was a big. I think it's like a big argument against Mark Zuckerberg, and like a meme about him, like all this was over a girl. That's crazy. You know, and it's like that's in the movie. That's what it is, and then like it's not what it is. But Sorkin does that because he did that with Moneyball. Like 90% of Moneyball is just
did that in
real.
Steve Jobs as well. Like that's like all of those all that stuff that happened in Steve Jobs over three
but I do think
things.
That question was
semi-historical, like Homer's Odyssey, right? And they change everything, but it's got some historical.
I do think that question you asked was a good question, JC. You said, how does the character in the movie feel? And I don't think Mark Zuckerberg wanted to hurt his friend. I think him getting into the Phoenix Society or whatever the thing is, I think that hurt him because obviously he showed it like right away. It hurt him. I think he didn't know how to get him back any other way. So I think if the movie plays out the way it plays out, or the story plays out, I think if he doesn't mean Sean Parker, I think the whole thing doesn't happen the way it does. I think Sean Parker was a catalyst to, hey, you can be ruthless, you can be cutlass. Now let's get this money up and also with that, and that slowly, weed him out. Like Sean Parker was the devil on his shoulder,
Yeah, and it's kind of that.
Without that catalyst, I think he wouldn't know how to get back at Eduardo because of all this stuff.
I think he's negligent. I think Zuckerberg's biggest characteristic is his negligence. Mm-hmm. He's focused with blinders on what he wants to do. And maybe it started in the movie about the girl, but once he has an idea, like I think he said, oh, I could make this happen. Like this is actually a good idea and I can make it happen. Mm-hmm. Regardless of what the impetus was, the drive was probably always going to be there, right? And so, and then he just doesn't care about anything else. And so like leaving his buddy at the airport, right?
Yeah.
He shows up at the house and in the rain and stuff like that. It's just,
and I think he
emblematic.
He sees, but he also sees the business like he puts the importance of the business as well, because he kind of like, what does Eduardo actually do for the business besides put like the capital forward? Like he puts the $19,000 forward. Yeah, but like Mark Zuckerberg disagrees with him at every point about advertisers, and like he doesn't really do a good job of getting advertising interest. Like so, I feel like.
diminish all of his stocks, though. If like
I know, but
start a business, right? Like you give him a big payout, and then he goes and does something else, and you retain your relationship with him.
I know
There's
that,
no
but
reason why
I think Mark Zuckerberg doesn't see him like he felt like him diminishing his stocks. I don't think he saw it as being as much of a personal attack as it ended up being. I feel like he doesn't understand that.
He had to know. He had to know.
Like I'm watching
he's a
this.
Genius. Listen, he knows exactly how finance works. He knows exactly how stocks work. He knows exactly how the reaction of somebody, if you give somebody millions of dollars and then you turn that into $1,000 overnight. He knows exactly. Okay. To blame anyone else, he could at any time say, "No, we're not doing that. I'm going to give him XYZ," and like he'll be on the board or whatever.
A big question for me that kind of prove my point or prove your point is like, do you guys think in universe, not in real life, but in universe, in the movies universe, do you think he planted the story about the chicken in the Crimson, or do you think that was someone else? Like, do you think he did that? Do you think Mark Zuckerberg did that, or do you think it was someone else? Because that's a big question, right? I feel like that shows if he was petty or not.
I don't remember how that was revealed in the scene. Like, what was the evidence?
It was revealed in the deposition.
The deposition. But what was the facts? Like, what was the evidence to support? Like, in the movie? Yeah, I guess he would do it. I think in the movie that character would be too busy to do that. I feel like somebody around him might have done it to curry favor.
In the movie, they revealed that what's his name? Eduardo asks him. He says, "Did you told them about the Crimson article?" And they're like, "No, he didn't tell us about it. We found it ourselves, and he defended you."
It's in Lexus.
But then later on, Eduardo he kind of puts the pieces together. Like that's kind of how he puts the pieces together in that conversation that we reenacted. Like after he said, "It's just because I got into the Phoenix," and then afterwards he kind of puts A to B together and he goes, "It was you. I knew it was you." But also the movie makes it clear that it wasn't the Winklevosses, because the Winklevosses are like, "We don't plant stories in the Crimson, like because we're gentlemen."
Well, I mean, they would plant stories though, and also it's I forgot what I was going to say after I was like the Winklevoss twins weren't going to admit it, but
I don't think they would, because they adhere to a very strong code of ethics that was based on the Carvers.
Until right at the end, when they're like, "Fuck it, let's
bullshit.
Gut him." But that was
all these guys with the codes of ethics. They only want you to adhere to the code of ethics, and they're going to go ahead and do what they want. It's a way to control you, is to keep you in the ethics fucking pocket, right?
Yeah. Also, there's a lot of interesting filmmaking techniques. Like, this is the earliest use, I think, of head replacement, like CGI head replacement in a movie. Because Armie Hammer, he plays both of the Winklevosses, but.
And it's really good, right? Special effect is
really good. But basically, when they're in the same scene together, they just had another actor stand in, and then they put Armie Hammer's head over his, and they kind of distinguish it, and they make it easier for them by having him wear a hat or wearing slick backed hair. It's a lot harder to do that with bigger hair. But
what do they do? Put a green screen fucking mask on?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he wore a green screen suit, and then he just delivered his. I think they put a green screen suit and green screen background, and then he delivered his performance that way, and then they put it on top of the other guy, which is flawless. You can't tell the whole movie. You can't tell.
I agree.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Because if they fucked that up, it would have ruined the whole movie. Because you can't it's so distracting when they do stuff like that. The Irishman, I felt was very distracting when they had the scenes with De Niro being younger. It's it doesn't look real, bro. It's just taking me out of it. I'd rather have an actor come in and play him.
Or the scene in Alien Romulus where they have the CGI Ian Holm playing. Yeah, that was really distracting. But not in this movie. Yeah. 2010 too. That's amazing. Yeah, they did a really good job. But also, I think it's very funny that Eduardo is accused of auto cannibalism of his chicken. He fed his chicken. But then we have a couple of actual accused cannibals in the movie. I think that's kind of a fun little. Another one. The Winklevosses. You got something to answer for. But yeah, they should have, or Armie Hammer should have an article in Crimson.
He's back, and he's forgiven, and he's
better than
he's coming
ever.
out with he's coming out with
with a banger.
A show with Kevin Spacey. He's coming out with Kevin Spacey. They're going to do The Odd Couple for 2026. They're going to live together in an apartment. One of them's going to be eating humans. The other one is going to be like attacking people sexually, and it's going to be fun.
Directed by Uwe Boll. Love him. Our favorite, the best director of all time. We haven't talked about Uwe Boll yet. I kind of want Citizen Vigilante just looks like such a funny film to talk about. Like I'm tempted to.
We should see it. Future, I agree. But... Is it available to stream?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Is it probably soon though, right? It's probably not going to do great at the box office. They're not going to hold it over.
Yeah. I think the magic of this movie though is I think every single scene is like its own little short film, I find. Like that's what I think I love about The Social Network is like every single scene is like its own short film. Like this scene here, like he's having a conversation over like the scene is so simple. He has a conversation with Mark Zuckerberg. Mark tells him he shouldn't have froze his account, and then tells him that they have a $500,000 angel investment. But instead of just having it be a phone call scene, they make it so that he has his girlfriend going crazy at him while he's on the phone in his underwear.
Right.
It's hilarious. Like there's so many great scenes like this. The chicken, like obviously the chicken scene where he's talking about animal cruelty, and then he says, "Don't fish eat other fish." Yeah. I love that. That's one of my favorite lines, like I think ever of all time. And the way Andrew Garfield delivers it is perfect. This is Andrew Garfield's breakout role also.
Yeah.
And he's fantastic in this. Like I think this is one of his best performances. Yeah. I think that's interesting. And there's a lot of there's other breakout roles as well. Like Dakota Johnson's in this for one scene.
Well, I was going to say about that Dakota Johnson scene. That Dakota Johnson scene is in so many movies, so many of his, like the first scene in The West Wing is almost the same scene. Like he keeps doing this scene where it's like the morning after they hook up, she's, getting ready for the shower. And then he's like, I have a secret to tell you. I really work for the president or in this case, we're vetted down. Like I've seen this scene like 7 times from him. He loves the big reveal the next day.
And he recycles me and dialogue. You didn't even know I was. Ooh. He recycles dialogue as well. There's a great montage. There's a great montage, or a super edit I saw on YouTube of dialogue that Aaron Sorkin uses. Yeah, okay. Like one of them that stands out to me is when he says, I'm so when Mark Zuckerberg says, I have enough money now that I could turn the Phoenix Club into a ping pong club. He's used that line in The West Wing. He's used that line in like other movies. Like he just has like these kind of like in the pocket.
He didn't change the wording at all, just the same line, so it never made sense.
Right. Yeah. So it's always about the Phoenix.
Yeah, the president's I have enough money to turn the Phoenix into like what the fuck is the Phoenix?
Like, what's the Phoenix? No. Obviously he changes the context, but he uses the ping pong club over and over again. Yeah.
His dialogue is really instructive, though, to like learn about how to write dialogue when you're trying to tell stories like this that are complicated. Because like if you kind of follow his form, you'll probably do well as far as when you're trying to write your own things.
But I think also like David Fincher as a director, like the way that he directs movies, like it's either his editing style or his pacing style or just like the way that he constructs his movies. Like you're just engaged from like scene 1 to scene end. It's like in all of his movies, like you just get locked in. Like the Zodiac's like a 3-hour movie and it feels like an hour and a half. It's like you're just locked into all of his movies. I don't know how he just like has that finger on the pulse.
It's another thing to study. That's another thing you want to study and try to figure out why is it that it seems like it's going by so smoothly, or like I don't give a fuck about technology and Facebook, for example, but like for example, or whatever the subject is, a good director, regardless of the subject, should make the film entertaining to everybody, right? It doesn't matter what the subject is.
Because it's obviously not just
skill in telling the story.
Because it's obviously not just a script thing. Because obviously this is a great script by Aaron Sorkin, but like David Fincher has worked with so many different screenwriters, but all of his films had the same feeling. They had the same thrust through. Like, and it's just a credit to him. Like every single film,
action
feels like that. Yeah,
kinetic. Forward momentum. Things are moving forward. It doesn't feel. Sometimes you see a movie and you get to the second act or whatever, and things feel like they're just like drifting, like they were going down They were going somewhere, and then it just kind of like starts spinning out on the ice, and he doesn't do that.
Like wheel turning. He doesn't.
It's almost like what he doesn't
feels
do.
like, like
sometimes to figure these guys out, you have to figure out what they're not doing.
Is there anything else you wanted to mention, Time? Like, because I feel like you had a big gap.
I did.
The score is great too.
The score is really good.
Oh,
editing,
one of the best.
The something I thought was interesting, because you brought it up, JC, by singing it, like the main recognizable theme of the Social Network. If you listen to that and then you listen to the main recognizable theme from Moneyball, they're almost like exactly the same, but they're different people who wrote the soundtracks.
Is he an AI? Maybe he's just an AI, and they're just like regurgitating.
But they have similar feels to it, where you're like, oh shit, like they make you feel something.
I need to watch Moneyball.
But yeah, soundtrack's obviously fantastic.
Oh, you should.
And Moneyball's great.
I have a baseball signed by Billy Bean right here.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Nice.
Where's the signature?
Oh shit. Old Billy and Bean.
Do this Moneyball.
That's awesome.
But something else, breakout performances we need to mention. We got Bill Gates. We got Larry Summers. We got Les Wexner.
Right? Epstein Island.
Aaron Sorkin, who's in this movie.
I feel like Zuckerberg was there somehow. Too.
So there's the scene where Mark Zuckerberg. No, it's the scene where Mark Zuckerberg's like, it wasn't a tisk, and it was like a guttural stop, and the guy they're talking.
Yeah, he was trying to like ruin the deal right that whole time. He was doing that weird fucking thing.
That was Aaron Sorkin, like at the desk.
Those three guys, and also Mark Zuckerberg himself and his wife, all on the Epstein files. I thought that was hilarious.
That's what that sequel should take place on Epstein Island.
Yeah, it was.
What if they had a sequel to this and it took place only on Epstein Island? JC? Yeah, that would be fucking
weird.
Great.
Yeah,
I was like, wait, that's Bill Gates. Bill Gates. And then I was like, okay, whatever. And then I was like, they said Larry Summers. I go, I know that name. And I Google
yeah.
And like
Very
Leslie
powerful.
Wexner, and I go,
Chairman of the Federal Reserve,
or long form for Les? Maybe?
Yeah, Les Wexner.
Yeah, it is
for sure.
Yeah.
That's who bought the house, right? He bought the giant, like Les Wexner essentially gave Epstein the sweetheart deal of the year, giving this giant fucking mansion in the middle of Manhattan, and sold it to him like way undervalued. It's so fucking shady.
I was gonna
go. I gotta think about it. Good.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say was, like, we talked about all of these, like, great performances, but I actually want to mention what my favorite performance in the movie is. And that's the guy that plays Larry Summers, the Harvard head, in that scene with the two Weaver bus. Where
he nailed it.
He's so good. Where he's like, please,
he nailed
arrive
it
at the point. Like,
no, that's how they are too, JC. That's exactly how they are, and that performance is exactly how these powerful people are, because they already know the answer 7 or 8 different things. Like, they already know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
So you have to go, and you have to like say something that they don't already know, which is not likely.
When Tyler's like, what does he say? He says, "What you just said."
He defends Zuckerberg too.
Yeah. And what you just said makes absolutely no sense. And, and his response is, I'm devastated by that. Like,
he tells him, go do something else, too. At the end of the day, he says, like, everyone at Harvard's trying to invent something. This deal didn't work out. Go fucking do something else, essentially. And that's really the truth.
He's like, please punch me in the face. He's so good. Just
he's like, how did they get this appointment? And he's like, one of their fathers called it. And that was it.
Father.
And he's like, he looks back and all right, you
just come up with a new project, new project. It's like that guy who like
everyone's inventing things. Just come with something.
Lawrence Summers, an extraordinarily powerful person. Not only was he the president of Harvard, before that he was the secretary of the Treasury in the Clinton administration, and then he eventually became chairman of the Federal Reserve, which is
he's extraordinary. He resigned everything, so kind of weird.
And now he's probably 90, and so he probably didn't. He resigned everything, but like they're keeping the money. It's like these guys, like it's like, oh, I'm 86 now. It's too late to fucking do anything with him. It's like Cosby,
and
it's too late.
The other thing, because
make the case to do something, but I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about earlier how like none of this is true. Like, I feel like the heart and soul of this movie is Eduardo Saverin. He's the one with all the the emotional core of this movie. But then you look up about
the book was based on his story.
Yeah, the accidental billionaires. But you look up like Eduardo Saverin and who he was and his relationship to Mark Zuckerberg, and they didn't seem to have that much of a brotherly relationship at all. Like, I've read
probably
about
not
them.
At all. It's...
Yeah, it seemed actually that Mark Zuckerberg was scared of him because he had ties to the Brazilian mafia and stuff. Like, he just kind of asked him.
That sounds like
speculation. Like, he kind of just asked him for money, and then he went off to New York and did nothing. And like Zuckerberg was just like frustrated with him and cut him out of the company.
I don't know if he did nothing. He probably was trying to get something going, but it's very difficult at that point.
From what I read,
essentially it's just a $500,000 company. Nobody gives a shit.
I read a few articles. Like, I read quite a few articles about this. Like, it seems like he did what Mark Zuckerberg did to the Winklevoss twins in this movie. He just started ignoring his emails and didn't respond to him in New York. But he needed his vote on stuff, and he couldn't get his vote, so he cut him out of the company by diluting his shares.
That's the thing. Everyone has their story, and the four people in it will all have a different story, and then like none of it will be true, and combinations will be true, and parts of it will be true. But like this, the haze of war and like
I'm just glad we got this movie out of it.
It's true.
Like, and like I think the real story is probably a lot more boring, a lot more dry. And I'm glad we got a really great dramatic movie out of it, even if it like hurts Mark Zuckerberg's feelings. It's
telling a story of the era, and it's telling the story of the rise of these tech companies too, and like kind of how they get incubated, and like even if it's Yahoo or Google or any of it, it's kind of like the same sort of like it's usually a dropout from Ivy League or Stanford, and then they get funding from Sandpiper Hill, and then but they don't talk about pets.com, and they don't talk about the 1,000 companies that fail for everyone that makes it, right?
But it is a little bit of a fantasy as well. Like this scene, like that I've set not as my background, but as the big background where
the party
where they're taking shots and doing code. Like you want to be there, you want to be in that room. Like it's such a, at least I do. I'd want to be in that room.
It's very and like there's a lot of like that's how Silicon Valley was.
It's very nostalgic.
It's not like that as much anymore though, and. But there was, and this is the other thing about the Bay Area. There are people starting businesses and innovating in their garages everywhere all the time. Like even from the time I was growing up, like if you have a neighborhood with 300 houses, there's 10 people, dads getting home from work after work, and they're trying to do some crazy technology thing, right? It's just the vibe. And so that's why it's such a great incubator. And like they are smart to get the fuck out of Harvard and New York or Illinois or Austin or Massachusetts and come to the Bay Area to build stuff like this, because
Silicon Valley,
the combination of mental freedom here combined with the weather and the amount of people that it draws, and a lot of other cultural incubators, you're not allowed to be free of mind as much as in the Bay Area. You know, like for example, like the way he dresses, and like the way they run the business, like a lot of that stuff is not smart, but it leads to smart things because people are more free.
Mark Zuckerberg has said like the most accurate thing about the movie is the costumes. Like he said, like every single thing in this movie is a piece of clothing that he owned and was in his wardrobe at the time. So like I think that's like an attention to detail that I think is very, very telling, that they did their research at least in the vibe of Harvard and Zuckerberg himself. But you had something else you wanted to say, Tom, before like you wanted to think about it.
I completely forgot it, but a special shout out to a huge piece of shit Peter Thiel for being represented in the movie.
Oh God, Peter Thiel! I just threw up in my mouth, and he is a piece of shit. What? He's a real piece of shit, JC.
JC's so mad.
You know who Peter Thiel is, JC? He won't talk about it anymore.
Can't talk about Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel knows about the Andy Crisis hilarious from South Park.
I'm sorry, I missed all of that. I missed all of that. What did you say, Tom?
Thiel. We were just talking about Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel.
A little bit.
Peter
Thiel.
Yeah. I love. Yeah.
We said he sucks. And
who's Eduardo Saverin? Yeah.
Right. I wonder if Eduardo Saverin is a millionaire right now. He probably is. He probably ended up okay.
He's a billionaire.
Right. See?
They ended up giving.
I'm not worried about any of these guys.
They ended up giving him back like 5% of Facebook. So yeah, he's sitting fine. He's got no issues.
He's all right.
He won his case, so yeah.
Crazy.
Which I think is fair enough. Also, I think the other big question is...
He probably made money off selling the rights to the book that turned to this movie. He made money on that. He made money on this. Like, you know.
My other thing about this movie that I think, like, the question that it begs that I think is very interesting is Mark Zuckerberg right, or are the Winklevosses right? Did he steal, like, in the universe of the movie, not in real life?
I don't think so.
No. In the universe of the movie, did he steal the idea from the Winklevosses, or did he not? What do you reckon?
No, but he did mislead them and tell them that he was working on the thing that they kind of signed him to do, right? So that's something else.
Yeah.
But I don't think, like, how do you, like he says, like, how do you steal the concept? Like if you had invented Facebook, you would have invented Facebook. Like, the idea of having a directory with people's faces that are interconnected is a simple idea for anyone had. It's the implementation and then the
but there are
all the other things.
But there are specifics that he implemented, like the fact that they had to have.
Well, that's why he had to write a check.
.edu. Yeah, that's why he had to.
So he writes a check.
Yeah.
All right, imagine if you have billions. If you have $1 billion, if you write a check for $66 million, that's like $66,000 to a regular person.
Well, I think that's the interesting thing about this movie is I think it says that everyone is right. Like, everyone has a right to their own feelings, and everyone is correct. You should
steal and then pay the penalty later because you'll get more by stealing and just paying the thing. Because I mean, that's kind of like the system is, right? They'll get you to, sometimes they'll have a law and they'll say you must do this, but then the penalty will be smaller than not doing it for the bad guy, right? So they'll like delay doing the thing, but they'll pay a small fine, right? That's kind of like how...
I think the ironic thing is that, you know, he steals the idea of using the Harvard email as the gateway into Facebook. But then when he's discussing with Eduardo, he says, like, word for word what Facebook's going to be, and it's exactly how the Winklevosses described it to him. And then later on, and the other thing about the Winklevosses is their idea for Harvard Connection was for girls to be, because girls are interested in guys that go to Harvard, and so it was meant to be like a match dating site sort of thing. That's the way that Mark Zuckerberg framed it. But then he was speaking, like, his friend comes over and he says, "Hey, do you know if what's her name is single or not?" And then he ends up doing exactly what the Winklevosses wanted to do. He makes it into a dating site. He adds the relationship status. He adds.
That doesn't make it a dating site.
I think it's pretty ironic. But what he describes to Eduardo, he says the whole idea of going to the whole idea of the college thing, or why you go to
then they
certain
should have
classes.
Done it. Then they should have just done it, JC.
Well, no, but they weren't. But they're not programmers. They asked him to program it for them because they're not programmers.
He had that idea, I think, of the. Sorry, not they had the idea of the relationship statuses, or dating or whatever, however you want to put it. And I don't think he cared. I don't think he was interested in that because he didn't implement it right away. But then when his friend was like, you know, pestering him with it, I think he was like,
it is a good idea.
People are into this stupid shit. I'll put this in.
It is a good idea. And then he just stole it. Like you see what I mean?
It was like the missing piece too, even though he had that piece the entire time. You know, he just didn't add it.
It's like also when he hacks into the houses to get the initial thing going, right?
That is
he knows he's going to have to. Okay, but then he gets in front of the board or whatever, and they penalize him, and he knows he's going to get penalized, but he doesn't care because he knows that the benefit is going to be larger than the penalty. And I feel like he feels the same way about these other circumstances. Yeah, I'm going to do the wrong thing, but the penalty is smaller than the benefit, and that's. Why penalties should be more robust in certain situations.
But then he also asked him to recognize him for pointing out the security problems. Thought, such a good, like, that
sounds like added shit. Like he would have, that didn't happen. It's total Sorkinism. It's a Sorkinism.
He says something like in his opening statement, he's like, I think apology is an issue, or it should be issued. And the lady's like, "I'm sorry," and he goes, "Yes."
It's such a West Wing. That's such West Wing shit too.
I don't understand.
That's such a West Wing shit, bro.
It's so good. But then,
I like how, if I almost say one thing, Sorkin makes the hero in his stories the intellectual and the nerdier person, and then the brain overwhelms the brawn almost always. But go ahead, GC.
Yeah. But then there's obviously there's some iconic scenes as well, like the amount of times that I've heard people online or like people like reference it. It's raining. It started to rain. I've heard people say that like when they don't want to like they don't want to pay attention to someone. Yeah. They're like, it's raining. It's starting to rain. But then he does that whole speech about like, you know, it says like, my mind is over to the people at Facebook who are doing things that your clients aren't even intellectually capable of doing. And I'm like, it's just Facebook, bro. They're just writing code. But in the universe of the movie, you're like, yeah, they are. Yeah, they're like, it's so engaging. You know what I mean? Like, even though, like, really, then what are they doing? They're adding another line of code. They're adding at the
end of the day, they're just scraping data. They're getting everyone's personal information. They're getting them to give it up voluntarily for nothing. And then they're using it to rig elections in Kenya, for example, where in a lot of the third world, there's no internet other than Facebook. Like, Facebook is the internet. So there's total siloed information.
Which is apparently what the new movie's all about. Like, apparently the new movie's all about that issue. And
good. I hope they do a good job explaining it.
The influence of Facebook, on elections, and also like the mental health.
The Cambridge Analytica story is a good corollary because Facebook was doing the same shit. And as long as you had money, they would manipulate your algorithm, right? They don't have any,
I guess,
problem lying to people.
I guess my point
things
is
that other companies wouldn't do.
I guess my point is that this movie does a really good job of in-universe making you root for Mark Zuckerberg in a way, because he does that whole speech.
It's early.
Yeah, like if you really think about it, you're like, they're not actually doing anything that intellectually crazy
at the time, right? It was just like Friendster level, like, oh, friends are coming together. That's great.
They're putting
community building.
They're adding poking to a website. That's all they're really doing. But then, like, in the scene, when you're watching Jesse Eisenberg deliver it, you're like, yeah, fuck you, Winklevosses. Like, it's so well delivered and so well framed that it's good drama. I think, I love this movie. I'm ready for final thoughts if you guys are, unless you guys have other stuff you wanted to say. But yeah, I feel because this is such a so well-worn movie. Like, everyone has talked about The Social Network. It's like, it's a modern classic. It's hard kind of to say anything new, but I think we've done a pretty good job over this hour and 8 minutes. We're kind of going over time, which is
like
good.
This is the Jobs movie is a good.
I love the Steve Jobs movie. Right? It's so good.
The combination of the two to
Danny Boyle, pretty good Steve Jobs.
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
That's not the one with what's his face.
Not the one with Ashton Kutcher.
70 Ashton Kutcher.
But ready for final thoughts?
All right. Yeah, I'm ready.
You want to go first?
You want me to?
So, because I think you started last time. I agree with JC. It's a modern classic. Everything in this movie is top notch. I do think it's that whole thing that Prag mentioned earlier too, about how even if you're not like interested in like tech, as long as like Fincher and Sorkin are able to reel you in and enthrall you, and you start watching the movie, and all of a sudden you're locked in. 2 hours later, you're like, oh shit, the movie's over. I think it has great pacing. The soundtrack is fantastic. Performances all around, I think. So I was going to give this one an 81, but a special rule that you guys don't know about, because we never encountered it yet. If you have Rashida Jones in your movie, you get 5 points extra. So it's an 86. I love Rashida Jones. Rashida Jones.
Oh, if you have Rashida Jones. Yeah.
I love her. Yeah.
That's my rule, except Dakota Johnson, no matter what.
Yeah.
Even if it's Madam Web. If you have Dakota.
So that movie was just a 5 then?
Yeah, it's just a 5. Yeah. Just because Dakota Johnson.
My God, Dakota Johnson. Yeah. Oh my God, I agree with that rule, JC. I'm gonna take that rule.
But they do say. Do they say The Social Network in this movie? Do they say?
They don't.
I'm trying to remember. You don't think so? Social Network. I'm trying to remember. Do they say? I'm gonna have to do a
script search. You have to.
I'm gonna have to do a Control F on the script. Yeah.
Control F.
I could bring up the script like in a second to see if it is. This movie lost to The King's Speech, by the way. I thought I might want to mention that.
That's crazy.
It was against some hard competition though. Like Inception came out that year, Black Swan came out that year, Toy Story 3 came out that year, True Grit came out that year. Yeah, it was against some tough competition, but no one remembers The King's Speech, so I think they got it wrong.
It was all right. All right, my summary is this movie's better than I remember every time, and it's just a quality. It's just a testament to high quality director, writer, actors. It's definitely a classic, and it should be collected. I think that 10 years from now, people will have this movie more than they will have The King's Speech in their their criteria, whatever their Criterion equivalent collection is. Yep. So this is like everyone said, like you say, oh God, I got to watch The Social. It's going to be hours and hours. It's going to be and then you sit there and like you get sucked in because it's so good. I give it a 90 and check it out.
Yeah, I agree. I'm in the same boat. Like, again, like I've said, this is a movie I've technically watched like hundreds of times because I've watched the clips over and over and over again on YouTube. But no, watching it from start to finish, it's so engaging. It's so well acted, so well directed. Like I don't think there's any issue. I don't have any issues with the movie. I'm surprised you actually gave it less than a 90 time. I'm wondering what bumped the score down, to be honest. Like before I go into my score, can I ask that? Like what brought it down from, like, is there anything? Because it's so airtight.
I think it's just like it aged okay. I don't think it aged great. I think just because of like what Mark Zuckerberg became. And I think at the time when he came out, he was just a fucking a tech bro, and he was just one of these guys. And then because of who he kind of became, it's like you watch it, you're very aware of who he is now, and like and what he becomes. And it's almost like I think before it was like watching it as like a kind of sort of like a little bit of a mockumentary kind of sort of, and now it's just like a straight up like just not real, and like this dude is legit like a crazy person. He's like an alien now. So it's like, you know, like watching
more
that
than
with that.
the more than this character, which is surprising.
Yeah. So it's that is in the back. And the entire time I'm watching the movie, in my head I'm like just thinking like, man, this guy like what pivoted him to go, you know, like crazy or do a certain thing, like, you know, like he's creating a site just to get people together, you know, like how did this turn to this? How did this turn to this? You know, like, oh, he doesn't want ads. How did that get into the ads? Those are questions I was just wondering the entire time, and it kind of sullied the movie for me a little bit. I didn't want to get into that, but yeah, there's definitely questions that I was like, even though it has nothing to do with the movie, it's just like, how did this happen? You know? So, yeah,
and if you watch, if you watch like Mark Zuckerberg like interviews or anything, he is nothing like Jesse Eisenberg in this movie. Like he's like Jesse Eisenberg is too cool almost for this role in a way.
Yeah,
because you what like I don't know if you watched. Have you
watch
seen
him on Rogan? Watch Zuckerberg on Rogan. He's a fucking robot.
Yeah, and he's just like the cringiest dude.
I mean, I saw when he was doing the
meta.
The testimony of the hearing at Congress, whatever. It's just bizarre.
Yeah. And there's also the SNL monologue that Jesse Eisenberg does that Mark Zuckerberg crashes, and he's just the weirdest. He's just so like his energy. He's
definitely
so
on the
off.
spectrum, like you're. I mean, he's definitely like well in the spectrum. In the zone.
I will say. I will say he did a better job on SNL than Elon did, so he's got that.
But that doesn't mean like people on the spectrum are like more likely to be evil. Like I want people to understand, like just because people are like that doesn't mean that they're cold and mean to people. They're self-aware. Like you can be aware of it and always mediate that.
But Zuckerberg is a specific case where he is actually just not a good person. But
he found something he was good at, and so he wants to do it. That's how everyone is. If you're good at something,
there are a couple scenes
making money.
And I love Boosters where they refer to people as like humans, and it's really weird and like out of place. But eventually they kind of explain like, or you realize why they say it like they say it. But it is weird. But I feel like that's very like Mark Zuckerberg. Like he would just refer to people as like humans, you know?
Yes, yeah, exactly. There's that whole like live video he did on Facebook where he says that he's smoking meats like 100 times.
Oh yeah. It's bizarre.
Yeah, just smoking these meats, just smoking them meats. That's just he's weird. He's really weird. And like in the promotional videos for the metaverse as well, he just comes off so like he's trying too hard to be cool. Yeah, he's bizarre. But no, I think this movie is fantastic. Like if you look at it if you just take away all of the Mark Zuckerberg baggage that we have now, and you just watch it as like a fictional film, like a fictional drama film about a social network. I think it's an incredible drama about like two friends who fall out and kind of like how their relationship deteriorates. And
I think that's the real story. That's the
meat
story.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the business is that's happening around them. It could have been about fertilizer.
Yeah, exactly. It's that core relationship that deteriorates, and
success I think destroys relationships sometimes.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I think it's fantastic, and I love this movie. How much
money would you take time to get rid of JC? Like $66 million. It would be easy to
get rid of him.
Yeah,
well, it means like just cut him out. You don't talk to him again. You just take the money.
Just DoorDash me a pizza.
And then
it's like $1,000. Yeah. It's like you'll be shocked how low the number is, JC.
So Craig sends you a pizza, and then I'm out of the podcast. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say $1,000. It would cost $1,000 to replace you.
Well, I have
and a new PS5, PS6.
That time does have the ability to cut me out. Like he just has to change my Google password.
True. Yeah, you can do that.
Taz has 2 pizzas. All right, deal, Taz. Taz is the new host of Three Grandmas. He sent 2 pizzas.
He'll have some interesting
more
stuff
pizzas
to say.
As the new host.
2 pizzas. No, I'm going to give this movie a 90. I think it's like 95, actually. Sorry, 95. I think it's one of the best like modern movies. Like it might be. I think it's probably top 10 in the 2010s at least, and definitely my like top 100 films of all time. I think it's that good. Yeah, glad we talked about it. Yeah.
Good. All right. We have some unfinished business. I have to pick the movie for Brave the Cinemas, correct?
That's right. And I still haven't heard from Anders what his movie is. So we'll find out.
I dropped the poster in the chat, and the official reveal is Caroline, starring my IRL wife, Samara Weaving, Hugo Weaving's daughter.
This movie.
This is a Bonnie and Clyde Southern Gothic lover adventure.
What is this available on?
Streaming. Amazon Prime is like $10 or whatever.
Sweet. I've heard about this movie.
This came in streaming. Some Magnolia Pictures, and I don't know anything about it other than I was just looking, and it looked interesting.
It popped out.
We haven't really watched a movie like that recently, so we'll give it a shot. And
yeah,
Samara's in it. She would get mad if I didn't talk about her movie.
Australia's own Samara. Australia's own.
Yeah, I know. We're having her citizenship changed, Jason.
Yeah. So that was going to be for July 17th, next Friday.
Right, yes.
Not this Friday, yeah, next Friday.
For the Friday after,
17th.
Yeah.
You sound like a robot right now, by the way, Tom.
Now
you're very
you sound like you're underwater.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's some weird shit happening.
Now you're whispering. Now I can't hear
you.
You're
frozen. And
frozen? How am I
now
frozen?
You're back. Now you're back.
Oh, good.
I don't know what's happening. There's a lot of weird stuff that's happening.
You're lagging a lot, though.
I'll watch.
I wanted to watch Cool as Ice starring Vanilla Ice, but it's not that movie time yet.
Yeah,
maybe next time.
It's too. It's not from the last 12 months, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have let you pick it. Unfortunate.
And you said you don't.
That's why we have
the next one, man.
Anders pick?
I don't have Anders pick yet. I'll have to.
And that is due this Saturday.
Okay.
This
Friday. Saturday. Yeah, this Saturday.
All right, just let it DM us with a couple days notice.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, you know what I saw? I'm excited for though is the trailer for the new Robert Eggers Werewolf.
Oh yeah, Werewolf.
Did you see that? Oh my god, it looks so fucking sick. He went full metal for this one.
I've just avoided like the trailer for this. Right. I want to go in completely blind.
Well, you're gonna be happy. It's so fucking. He's doing all the Eggers things, but like multiply it by 4. Yeah, it's like the most fucking.
There's a really funny
death metal fucking trailer I've ever seen in my life.
There's a really funny quote where he says, "Yeah, so the way they approach this movie is like cotton farming was a huge thing in the 1300s, and wolves would keep taking the sheep, and then after the 1300s they culled the wolves, so you can't set it after the 1300s. Like he just went on this whole he's such a fucking nerd about ancient history, about
all
history,
medieval to dark aged out for fucking tits.
I just love that he's like, I want to make a werewolf movie, and his first thought is cotton farming. Yeah. Or wool farming, not cotton. Cotton's not sheep. Wool farming, and where wolves were culled before the 1300s. So I gotta he's such a geek about
historically
it.
Accurate.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
When does that come out? Do you know?
Later.
Do you know when it comes out?
Yeah. Let's have a look.
I'm excited for that.
Seeing that trailer, it ended, and I was like, that looks awesome. But then at the same time, I'm like, Robert Eggers would kill a Bloodborne movie.
Wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah. Have you seen The Apostle on Netflix? Have you seen The Apostle?
That's not Robert
Eggers. That's like a scary Hollywood, but that's from the guy who made The Raid.
The Raid.
I just brought him up because I thought he would make a good Bloodborne movie too, because that movie seems to have a lot of the same vibes.
Yeah,
I love Apostle. If you want to see a scary fucking movie that you don't expect on Netflix, watch The Apostle. It's banger.
Dan Stevens is a national treasure. So yeah, watch that movie.
A white
He's
dude
really
made my wife Samara
made Raven.
She knows who he is.
Yeah. We we reviewed that movie.
I know it was a white dude that made it. I mean,
it's our most
Evans.
viewed review. It's our Gareth Evans. It's our most reviewed review, actually. Too.
He's a British dude, yeah.
The Raid.
But he moved to Indonesia.
We should review The Raid 2. Why haven't we reviewed The Raid 2 yet?
Yeah.
It's such a good movie.
Yeah,
that's a banger.
We should.
All right.
Someone's got to pick
Who's the next person after
Anders?
Yeah.
Let me check. I think it's you. I think it's you, Prag.
All right, we're doing it. I'm locking in The Raid 2 right now.
Gotta skip you.
Why?
Because if your spot's available and a guest wants to be on, you gotta take your spot. Sorry.
That's not how it works. I just push him back.
I don't know.
I just push him back.
I love you that you think that.
It is annoying to push him back.
I'm getting
the schedule,
banned.
Yeah, it is annoying. To
edit the schedule, but yeah,
there is a guest that wants to be on. So
the other movie I wanted to pick was Vision Quest. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. It's an '80s movie about wrestling. It's really good.
Vision
Quest.
The
other one is
Vision Quest.
Breaking Away, which is a bicycling movie. Vision Quest. It's a great movie from the '80s that gets overlooked.
Bobby wants to come on as
coming
well.
of age.
She wants to come on as well. She wants to talk about Sense and Sensibility.
Yes, Lance has been on.
Anyway, so
Zach writes, has Lance ever been a guest? Yes,
yeah,
unfortunately.
we did multiple times. He's probably
our
most prolific
8-hour
guest.
Oscar. Remember the Oscar special that I won and I never got to pick a movie and it never got reviewed? I'm so excited for the next one.
Do you
when I'm going to have my revenge on all of you. No. I'm just bitter now.
Yeah,
no, it's going to be a revenge story now.
Okay,
I'm going to hold it in my back pocket until the time, place of my choosing.
Whose spot you take, whether you take mine or you take Time's. Like that's what I'm interested to see.
He's take them all. No rules.
Find out. I'm going to wait till the moment when you find something you really. I'm going to wait for that look you get, JC, when you get real excited about something,
and then you say, "I'm taking that spot." Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. You should do that.
He's like, I got an advanced copy of Sean Baker's new film, and we can only watch it this Saturday. And he's like,
and we'll do it closer.
And he's only showing it once.
Yeah, you're like, guess what, JC?
Also, I booked my tickets. For the Odyssey in IMAX. I'm so excited. I'm gonna go see that.
I hope it doesn't disappoint.
I hope it doesn't either, but I have to see it. It's the first movie completely shot in IMAX, and I refuse to see it in my hometown. Our cinema's dog shit. So I'm making the 6-hour journey to Perth, and I'm going to be watching it. We're watching it.
Crazy.
Yeah. Watching it with my friend.
6 hours.
Do they not have planes?
Yeah, but they're expensive because we have fly in, fly out, so they jack up the prices because the companies just pay for the flights.
But but there's no traffic when you're driving 6 hours. Like you're in the fucking outback, right? So you just like Mad Max.
But the annoying thing is there's always roadworks, so there's like stretches of time where you're just like driving at 50 kilometers per hour, or you're stuck behind trucks as well. Getting stuck behind trucks is very annoying.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to ask.
Is there any other business to attend?
Yeah, I'm not going to ask what we've been watching. We did that yesterday. So
World Cup was boring today, but we've been spoiled by good games lately.
Australia fucking lost. I'm so devo.
I apologize.
And you understand why I'm upset too, because like they choked. You can't miss penalty kicks, and that 18-year-old kid, that poor kid is going to have nightmares for the rest of his life.
They also didn't put our good goalkeeper in for the penalties. They put our less good goalkeeper in. I don't know why.
Why did they do that? They subbed out the good goalkeeper and put in the old fart because he's there because of Australian. Oh, he's been on the team the longest. He sucks and he's short and he didn't even get close to saving anything.
Ridiculous.
Oh my God, JC.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Everybody.
They're in their round of 16 and they do that. I don't like. Whatever.
It's embarrassing. It really
Argentina
is.
Now,
and then this is the thing. When you have a kid who's 18, you don't put him in a situation like that because he's too young to fucking steady himself. Because like if he does it, then he's gonna have a big head, and if he doesn't do it, he's gonna be a basket case. So that's who they should have subbed out for somebody who's. And then 2 center backs take penalty kicks. You only have the forwards in the center, and they missed. All right,
I'm so mad. And
I feel the same way. No, I want to say something about Paraguay today. Paraguay was on that field like they were ready to lose to France, and they didn't give a fuck. I watched the last 20 minutes. They were down by 1 goal. They're not pressing. They're just like, what are you guys doing? And then they would get the ball and immediately turn. There's some fucking weird shit, bro. There's some weird shit.
Also,
maybe, I don't know.
I heard Croatia got robbed.
Paraguay's dirty.
I heard Croatia got robbed from
No, they didn't
Portugal.
get robbed. That's a fake news because
I
saw the replay. That was a good call. No, because it was like there was this offside call.
I heard it wasn't.
No, it was a good call. There was a bunch of people on YouTube who were independent and that looked at everything and they're like, it didn't
line up. It was offside. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. France was or who Croatia lost. That was a legit. That was legit.
Who did they lose to?
Is it Portugal or
Portugal? Yeah, Portugal.
Portugal.
Yeah.
Portugal. Spain's going to be a banger. That's going to be a great match.
Yeah.
And that's
but
the same
Ronaldo's
day
doing nothing.
US-Belgium came.
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo has like 8 goals, doesn't he? In the World Cup,
He's the
second leading scorer or the third leading scorer.
Messi
keeps cooking.
He had a hat trick, dude.
Yeah, but I'll tell you right now, Capo Verde almost really beat them, and the Argentinians were sweating their nuts off because they would have been lynched if they went back to Argentina like that.
Yeah,
Ronaldo has three goals.
Like 3. Oh my god!
Yeah.
I don't know where is it Holland that's got or Mbappe
Haaland.
and then Messi?
Norway's got
Mbappe,
Haaland.
Messi, is that how it goes?
Norway's got Haaland. But France has got Mbappe. Yeah.
France is going to beat everybody, unfortunately. They're just so good. This is the thing. They were playing Paraguay. They were just holding the ball and keeping it away from them, and there was nothing Paraguay could do. There's nothing they could do. They're so skilled.
Then you can't be mad at Paraguay.
But I feel like they kind of gave up at the end, and they weren't even trying. Like, even though I know you're going to keep the ball away from me because you're more skilled, I'm still going to have to try to get it, just in case there is a fuck up or a mistake. That's why Capo Verde almost won, because they played like they might actually win if they tried, and they almost won.
Yeah.
Just fucking give your 100% effort, even if you're overmatched.
Because they won
weird shit happens.
Like, Argentina won in extra time, right? It wasn't like it was a draw and then it was extra time.
Come in, Icy Robo.
Am I correct?
In the Argentina game? Yes, it was overtime.
It was extra time. How crazy
and this is what happened. It was overtime, and then Argentina went up 2-1, and then Capo Verde scored again in overtime to tie it again.
Yeah.
Which was crazy, and it was a crazy shot too. Watch the highlights. They were sensational.
Amazing.
They were sensational game.
Mbappe and Messi, they both have 7 total goals.
They're the highest goal scorers.
And then Holland is at 5.
They've edged out.
What's that?
Holland hasn't played his match yet. Holland hasn't had his round yet in the playoffs, so he might.
Holland and Harry Kane are at 5.
Oh, Harry Kane too. Yeah.
And then Julian Quinones is 3.
And then because they're afraid the U.S. will win the World Cup, they had to make sure Balogun can't play, even though he's got.
For Bosnia, you mean?
Why are you laughing, JC?
That's hilarious.
No Balogun for the United States, from the United States. He's cooking, and he got there's no fucking appeals for that shit. No, but you just have 1 game suspension. You have to eat it.
Did he get yellow carded?
Red carded.
Red carded.
And you guys still won with 1 player down.
And it was not even a real legit foul. That's a fuck. That was a look at that one. Look at that foul, especially at the end of the game when there's no time left to give someone a red card to affect the next game is dirty.
Who's Mexico?
That shouldn't be a thing. Did the same thing. A big tournament like this.
Yeah. Who's Mexico?
It has to be, because otherwise people would be cooking people. People would be killing people if they don't have that potential that you can't play the next game, because people would be hurting people. It's so easy to really hurt someone on a soccer field, because if you hit those Achilles tendons with your spikes, you could end somebody's whole career. It's very easy to really hurt somebody.
Who was the dude from? Was it France? Zidane? You headbutted that guy.
That was Gattuso. And what happened was Gattuso was smart, and he kept yapping at him. And eventually Zidane lost his cool.
He put him in his chest or something?
In the chest. And Zidane got kicked. Gattuso was fine. And
France still won the game though, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I think so.
That's a good question.
Who's Mexico playing next?
England.
That's tomorrow. We're going to have a watch party for it too. We're going to watch
this has been fun, guys. I'll see you
tonight. The Golden Banana returns with real live New Zealand legacy actor Dark BMXers, who will be doing some amazing voice work tonight. I can't wait for you to hear the characters he's been working on.
If you've never seen the
3
Golden Banana,
characters he's doing 3 characters. What a genius!
Just the voiceover. It's not a big deal.
Well, I mean, voiceover work is acting. It is. No.
There should be an Oscar for voice.
I haven't heard your bird voice. Where's your bird voice?
If you
haven't watched The Golden Banana,
Please watch it tonight because it is going to be awful.
It's crazy.
We didn't have the rehearsal.
Why?
We didn't go over any of the scenes. I just realized that earlier. I was like, we didn't go through the scenes. Shit.
I said that during the thing, and I'm like, okay, so we'll get there a little early. Listen, we've been doing this a long time. We're good. We're so good. We're so good at this that we will kill it.
I was like, oh God, I forgot about all the scenes.
I'll get there early. I'll be there around. I'm going to get there at 9:30. I'm going to get there at 9:30. We're going to talk about the scenes. I don't remember what the fucking scenes are. How about that?
Bye, everybody.
I have no idea.
Salutes like this. Which country salutes like this?
That's a Nazi salute.
No, it's,
oh my God. Performed a Nazi salute.